How do you get somebody back after they've just had a sudden breakup with you? Oh, this is a horrible situation to find yourself in. You thought it was going amazing. You're having some great dates. You're feeling really connected. And just at the point you were like, this is awesome. There's a breakup out of the blue. This is so disorientating and so painful. I really feel for you if you clicked on this video and that's where you are right now. Fortunately, unfortunately, I am actually not going to be telling you, advanced disclaimer, I'm not telling you how to get this person back. I'm going to be telling you instead about how you can get a better mindset around this to become a much more attractive person, whether you decide to restart that relationship or just move on. So before we begin, I'm going to give you a really quick sense check on this. Hopefully you're doing this anyway with friends and family. But I want you to really be thinking, why do you want to get this person back? Now, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, I haven't felt a connection like that in ages, or they were really attractive, or they were just the person I wanted to be with, or, I just really liked them. I felt like I was falling in love. It was amazing. And all of those feelings are so powerful and they're so incredible to experience. I do understand how you feel. However, to get to that long-term relationship, if that's what you want, that strength of feeling and that connection and that passion isn't actually enough. We need that other person to be just as willing as you are to work through things, to communicate, to build stuff with you. So because of that, just do a mini sense check here. If this person wasn't actually being that consistent, if you knew for a while you were trying harder than them, if they maybe said early on that they're just not interested in the same things as you, sense check. Do you really want this person back? Because what you need is that you need someone who can really show up for you in that consistent and secure way. Okay, that being said, here are some strategies that you can use if you've suddenly had a breakup out of the blue. Strategy number one is we don't want to create more pressure. This is a weird one because I really believe that internally as people, we just have different limits as to how much intimacy and how much closeness we feel comfortable with. And that might be something that you or that other person might need to work on. Now, if you have a limit for closeness that is higher than theirs, you really like it, you love being close to people, that great holiday you just had together, it was so amazing, or you've really loved spending the weekend with them, or you've really been enjoying how things have been building up. That's because you might be just in and of yourself as a person, just way more comfortable with that feeling of intimacy, that feeling of getting closer to someone. On the other end of the spectrum, some people do not react to that intimacy and that closeness in the same way. Some people, when they actually feel that little increase in closeness and intimacy, they recoil, they move back from it. That's not to say that they can never have a relationship or that they're just not suitable. It might just mean that they're on a different spectrum to you in terms of how much closeness and what kind of relationship they want. So think of it this way. If you think that someone has just pulled back out of the blue, particularly if they pulled back out of the blue after a point in time where you were feeling a lot of closeness, it might be because they've just gone over their level of intimacy that they felt comfortable with, and they're kind of freaking out and they feel maybe some pressure. They're worried about what the future might hold. They're not sure if it's right, and so they're just withdrawing. Now, if someone is in this frame of mind, probably the last thing you want to do is just heap a bit more pressure on there. So that pressure could come from you bombarding them with messages, you sending them gifts, you wanting to continually talk about stuff to try and show them and prove your point as to how awesome you are. I want you to remember at this time, what's actually really important isn't that you have this major transformation as a person. It's that if they want to build this relationship with you, they have a bit of time to cool off, they sit there, they reflect, and they decide that actually they want to come back to the table and they want to start to talk that stuff through with you. If that doesn't happen, then the onus is not on you to just sell yourself. And I don't mean in a sexual sense, I mean in a overselling yourself as a person. You don't need to convince anyone to be with you. You do not need to convince anyone to be with you. Because of this, really try to avoid over-explaining yourself, over-justifying, over trying to remind the person about what a great time you had together, because this might just be received by them as pressure. Instead, given space and a bit of a vacuum and a bit of time, that person's feelings around intimacy might cool off a bit, and allow them to remember what an amazing person you were, and for them to want to come back and reconnect with you. However, before you just go ahead and enact that, I want to issue a little bit of a health warning here that you do want to avoid getting into a cycle where as soon as you get close, this person pulls away, you also back off, and then they mystically come back into your life. This isn't sustainable and isn't the kind of relationship that you want. Instead, it might be more powerful for you to recognize that this person today just isn't able to meet you at your level to build the kind of relationship that you want to build. Second strategy is do not, under any circumstances, allow this person's actions to start to influence other areas of your life. Now, that could be you putting up a social media post being like, having the best time ever, because you're actually feeling really bad. It could be that you think, right, I'm gonna go on 3 dates this week, that'll show them. It could be that you start checking when they were last on WhatsApp or online. Any of that stuff, instead of helping you to actually move forward, because your actions are being motivated by them and that feeling loss of a relationship, it might actually keep you more tied in to stuff that was happening in the past. And I need you to be really conscious of not letting that happen. So rather than putting up that fierce social media post, which is going like, I am having the best time ever, when you're not, you're finding it a bit difficult, go social media quiet. Also, don't be tempted to check up on them online. Just, block, hide profiles, mute profiles, do what you can to put a close on that. And also, instead of thinking you need to immediately find someone else or recreate that connection overnight, instead of jumping back into dates, give yourself some time to chill out. Give yourself some time to chill out and don't expect to form that connection right away, because right now it's probably more important for you to reconnect with yourself and not allow your day-to-day actions to be motivated by someone else. Finally, I want you to remember strategy number 3. It is actually easier, in my opinion, as dating coach Hayley Quinn, to find someone new who's into the same thing as you than to try and convince someone of something they're not sure about. It's a bit of like square peg round hole scenario. So rather than investing your emotional time and energy trying to do everything in your power to show this person how good you are or to demonstrate to them how they have this fear of intimacy, sometimes it's actually better to just go, you know what, I actually accept that this person isn't able to give me what I want and what I need. And because of that, I'm going to let that go. And ironically, this action not only makes you more attractive to them and gives them the space they need, more importantly than that, it helps you get on the right track to recovering and being able to meet a more amazing person or someone who just is more open to you in the future. If you've enjoyed this video, I would really recommend that you come along and see the other videos that I have in store for you. I particularly like working with people in a way that empowers them. I work with men and women equally. In fact, I work with everyone. So if you want to feel better about your dating life and you want to really learn to love dating, then click on the links below and I've got some free videos for you right there.